Browns minicamp was hot and heavy, and I'm going to tell you what, there were some major takeaways. We're going to talk a little bit about Amari Cooper. We're going to get into Deshaun Watson. We even going to talk about the big news with Trevor Lawrence and how that affects Deshaun Watson and what we should be talking about as talking points as fans moving forward with this quarterback market. We're going to get a lot of stuff in, so get locked and loaded. It's the fastest 30 minutes in all of sports. It's the Ultimate Cleveland Browns Show. Man, oh man, listen, I'm always excited when them pads get to getting on, when I'm starting to get that feeling. I'm starting to see the helmets. I'm starting to feel like it's two-a-days. If you've ever played the game, you played the sport of football, you understand that two-a-day feeling, that summer heat, that grass, getting out there in the morning, doing 2 sessions is nothing like it. Just bring back some of the best memories and the worst memories, because you know you be busting your tail out there, especially when you're going out there 2-a-days, man. So the Cleveland Browns minicamp happened, and G. Bush and the Ultimate Browns is here to break all of that down for you. Before we even get anywhere, make sure you like this video. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you get all of our content, especially for the Cleveland Browns, the Ultimate Browns Show, Monday and Friday at 5 p.m. So make sure you get that. We got a great show planned for you. Trevor Lawrence has a massive extension. He just became the highest paid quarterback and highest paid player in the entire league. Take your notes down. For anybody that be pocket watching, that segment is for you. Take the notes down so you have some rebuttals when people's at the water coolers talking nonsense about these contracts. We gonna get you some ammunition. Speaking of counting somebody's money, Amari Cooper, noticeably a holdout. You already see what it says up there. Pay the man. Earl to Pearl, my brother, love him to death. But he was in left field on this. I don't know where he got this from. I don't know if he was tired or sleepy, but he talking about Amari Cooper is not the main priority for the Browns. You'll be surprised who he said is the priority. I don't know where he got this from. You keep that lock. I got to talk to him. But first of all, you already know why you clicked on the thumbnail. We got the 3 takeaways. 3 takeaways from this minicamp, and one of those takeaways is Deshaun Watson is mentally locked in. The old Watson between the ears and that swag is back, and I'm gonna tell you why that's gonna really set this season off. And I think Deshaun Watson, this is just the preview that Deshaun Watson is actually back. Let's take a look at some sights and sounds from OTAs following Deshaun Watson at minicamp and showing how he out there just being the leader, out there doing his thing.
You good? Yes, sir. Welcome back, Joel. Yes, sir. Let's go. Slam him out. Good dog.
I was wondering, white ball?
Yeah, that's one.
So when we go out, we're either going up or back. All right, either way. All right.
Cool. You want me to just start here? Like here? Let's go. Minicamp, baby. Yeah, no.
honestly, if I'm more warmed up, I'm jumping higher.
Yeah.
So cold.
I really didn't even have to pin it that hard either. I could have just like, I want to split it and pop open fast. And that, once
I felt, what's his name, Grant, leave me alone.
Yeah. So I thought the other safety was coming, and so, but he didn't even go.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like,
we gonna hit
can't either. Yeah.
Keep going.
First day out. Q's on 3, 1, 2, 3.
And that footage was courtesy of the Cleveland Browns. Shout out to the Cleveland Browns, and you know, that courtesy video of minicamps out there. A great look at what Deshaun Watson is out there doing. And one of the things that I see out there that I love for a fact is, you see how many handshakes he had? He had all kind of handshakes. What's Saeed? He had all kind of gang symbols. Football, they're not really gang affiliated, but you see what I'm saying. He had all the handshakes. You know what that tells me? That means he had to sit down and choreograph that with these people. That means he's one-on-one. That means it takes him time to sit there with David Njoku, take some time with Zadarius Smith, take some time with DeJuan Jones and get them handshakes down. And the fact that he remembered them, you may like, come on, bro, you sounding crazy. You just giving him this credit, and you sounding like a real homer right now. You giving him credit for learning handshakes? Nah, bro. Just in the scheme of things, he can learn all the handshakes he want. If he ain't playing good football, he gonna be up out of here. You see what I'm saying? But one of the things that we look at in the locker room is the quarterback is the leader. In the first few years, he wasn't doing no handshakes. He wasn't doing no celebrations. He was just trying to worry about how to handle the media, how to handle the scrutiny, and figuring out how to knock some of the rust off from not playing for 2 years. So when you see Deshaun Watson out there having hugs and dapping up and doing that type of stuff with his teammates, for y'all that ain't never really been in a locker room, you may think that that's something that's small, but for the people who play and understand what the dynamics is like in that locker room, you understand that that's a huge part of Deshaun Watson putting his mark on his football team. And so you're now starting to see that psychological burden be able to be lifted off of him. And like I said, I labeled this Deshaun Watson is locked in mentally. He's now in a place where he's back to being the leader. He's back to be understanding football. He's having fun again. He's out there moving around. He looks good. The shoulder looks good. He talked about in his podcast with Quincy Avery, talking about how he just looks good. He's going to take it one day at a time. The visor looking crazy. The headband is back there. He looking great, man. He out there looking like he's renewed his mind and is on a different playing field and is in a very good space, a very good headspace when it comes to the way he's feeling about football, his personal life, his public life, and his standing inside that locker room. A couple of days ago, we were on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and Mikey McNuggets pointed out some of these things. You can kind of see they go hand in hand when we talk about the situation, because, he said, Mikey McNuggets says this about Deshaun Watson and why it's important for him to have certain comments showing confidence, and then it translates to the field because you could see him interacting with his players. This is a clip of Mikey McNuggets talking about the importance of confidence with Deshaun Watson.
The reason that quote wasn't a nothing to me, and I agree with what both of you guys just said. Yeah. We could talk about Deshaun, what I could say about Deshaun, what G could say about Deshaun, what you could say about Deshaun, what Colin Coward. None of that matters besides what Deshaun thinks of himself and how Deshaun views himself in the light of stacking up with other quarterbacks. And over this offseason and listening to his podcast, and, Bo, I know you don't necessarily listen, but hearing him talk about his game and his expectations for himself and what he knows he needs to do this season, and hearing him come out and just saying, hey, I know I'm good, that's why they're talking about me, and just hearing him put that in there, I'm getting the sense that, and maybe this is blind optimism too, I am fully aware maybe this is blind optimism, I'm getting the sense that maybe he's feeling more confident in himself as he continues to progress through his rehab sessions. He threw 7-on-7s yesterday for the first time, as he gets himself ready for the season. And for your quarterback, and there's levels of confident to cocky to over, and there's a whole spectrum here. And I'm not saying Deshaun is on any point of the spectrum. I have no idea where he's at yet. But if your quarterback's shy and timid, I don't think it ever truly works out to the level
was he shy and timid last year in the preseason?
I do think he kind of was. And
really?
maybe not as shy and timid as, like, it'll never work out shy and timid, but he just feels more confident in himself. And hearing him say that and being comfortable enough in front of the Cleveland media now to kind of say, hey, I know I'm good, and I don't care what they think because maybe and once again, maybe I am looking too far into that, G, and tell it wrong, but I get the sense that he feels more confident in himself as he continues to rehab and progress getting towards the season. And that's really the first step in him getting his mentals back to where it needs to be the quarterback we know he can be because we saw it in Houston.
And I totally agree with Mikey McNuggets. Very astute for you to understand that. And it's about time that we start talking about the ops. You know, it's cool to be down the middle, and it's cool to be, point out some of the flaws that people have. But it comes a point in time that you're going to have to pick a side. And I know it's a lot of people that's out there doing that. You're going to have to choose a side. You can't, it's a lot of fans that's going to have to understand and say, okay, he got to play better. Deshaun Watson got to play better. But all of this nonsense about, oh man, just, all these comments about, the contract and, he's not going to be doing that. And this is a make or break year for him. Listen, shut up. And sometimes I just be wanting people to shut up and be like, listen, is you going to talk about the game or not? Or are you going to gossip? Are we going to talk about what's on the field or are we going to gossip? Do you want the Cleveland Browns to win or you like the Steelers? It's time for us to put a line in the sand. Either you with us or you not riding with us. At the end of the day, you're supposed to be behind whoever taking that snap behind center. And for me, that's one of the things I've been really passionate about is communicating and publicly telling Deshaun Watson, listen, bro, if there's detractors, screw them. Do you understand that you got a great opportunity to go out here and lead this team to something special? And all the dudes that's sitting around that don't think you're gonna be nobody or ain't gonna be about nothing, listen, that's cool. Let them hate and talk and do whatever they're gonna do, throw rocks at the sun if they want to. But the reality of it is, you still gonna be the quarterback. And if you're gonna lose and you're gonna go down with being confident in what you can do and your abilities, being vocal, because the only people that matters if they believe in you is in the locker room. At the end of the day, it don't matter what me, Bull, McNuggets, Earl, none of them, nobody. Anybody, Mary Kay, Daryl Ryder, it don't matter what none of us think. It matters that those people in the locker room feel like if you get the ball last, you can go score. The people in the locker room feel like you putting their work in. The people in the locker room feel like you holding people to the same standard that you are, which is the highest and high to try to get us to where we need to be going. The rest of the stuff, kick rocks. If you don't like my cockiness, so what? If you don't like I got Maybachs and I got cars on Instagram, so what? That sound like a personal problem. He's flaunting his wealth. Shut up. Y'all corny. Somebody need to, like at the end of the day, somebody need to be tapping these grown men that be emotional. How are you that emotional? He's flaunting his wealth. He's flaunting it. Bro, if you had it, you be doing it too. Bro, live your life, man. But right now, Deshaun Watson looks like he done blocked all the haters out. He looked like he's playing fast. He looked like he's playing and enjoying the game. And that's the first step into us getting where we need to be. Because I'm telling you what, I already told you I'm going to be petty. When he throw for 4,500 and when we looking around, I'm going to be the first one to tell everybody on the panel, remember what I told you? Remember how y'all was hedging your bet? Is you the ops or no? Is you in the circle or no? You better, y'all better pick a side. It's time to pick sides out here. Season coming around. All of that other little stuff about trying to be fair and to be honest, he could play better. This would make or break. No. This about to be hot. The season coming around. 2 days is here. You better pick a side. Go root for them Pittsburgh Steelers over there. You want the Bengals to win? Well, we know some people who like the Bengals to win, don't we? See, that's why you can't get G. Bush. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that. I was just joking, kind of, but not really. When we get back, I just threw a little jab at one of my partners over there. If you know, you know. I got to throw another jab at another one of my brothers, my good co-workers, one of my dudes. Earl the Pearl said, Amari Cooper is not the priority. I don't know what he was doing. We're going to come back and talk about that. This is G. Bush right here on Ultimate Browns. It's playoff time in the NBA. Actually, it's NBA Finals right now. The Dallas Mavericks aren't doing too well. In the NHL, it's the finals. Baseball is in full swing. And FanDuel is your place to bet on every single game. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's 150 bonus bucks, win or lose. Bet on everything from slap shots to home run to slam dunks, all on an app that is safe, secure, and easy to use. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/UCSS and make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Make sure you guys are locked in with us every Monday, every Friday. We want to thank y'all out there for making this one of the most popular shows on the UCSS network. We appreciate you guys out there. Continue to support, continue to make us a part of your everyday listening and viewing habits. And we definitely appreciate you for doing that as well. Before we went to break, we talked about this. Earl the Pearl, Ultimate 216. Make sure you go check out the Ultimate 216. His episode is up right now. He just put out an episode yesterday, and he talked about this. He talked about the fact that, yes, Amari Cooper is holding out. He does want a contract. But right now, he says he's not the #1 priority. And when I heard this, I said, oh, no, I got to talk about this. I love Earl. That's my brother, but I don't know where you got that from. Listen to what he had to say about Myles Garrett being the actual guy that needs the contract, and Amari Cooper, he gonna have to wait.
You know, you have some guys that if they perform well this year, you're gonna have to hand out some money to. And I understand Amari Cooper has been great over his 2 seasons here with the Cleveland Browns, but should Amari really be at the top of your extension list? And my answer is no. I think the person that needs to be at the very, very top of any talks about a contract extension is Myles Garrett. And I think the longer that Andrew Berry waits to get a new contract done for Myles Garrett, I think the more and more it's going to cost him. There is no world where Myles Garrett should not be one of the top 2 or 3 players that's a non-quarterback paid in the NFL annually. Myles Garrett is coming off winning the Defensive Player of the Year award. Myles Garrett is a primetime premier player in this league, and he plays a primetime premier position, right? And so if you take all of that into account, you know, the importance of what he means to the Cleveland Browns organization, you know, his investments into the city of Cleveland. Hell, he's part owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He owns a small portion of the Cleveland Cavaliers now. And I think that if you talk about paying it forward to any player, Myles Garrett has to be at the top of that list when you consider contribution, when you consider age, when you consider, you know, the length of his current deal, when you consider the landscape of the NFL right now as we speak.
No. Out of pocket. Don't understand it. Let me break this down. I'm confused. So you meaning to tell me a guy in Myles Garrett who's under contract, who is not holding out, who has not said he wanted a new contract, who has not expressed any sort of anger about said contract, why would we just all of a sudden out of the blue roll over when we got to take care of Amari Cooper, knowing good and well that's what it is, knowing good and well this day has been coming since he got here? And we gonna roll over and say, you know what? Myles Garrett, the best player in the team, let's just go ahead and give him some money today. Because I'm worried about him having a great year and then paying more. Who cares? No one cares at all. That's not it. Why would you just out of the blue just make up and give Myles Garrett money? Why would you do that? And then you have what at receiver? I thought Earl was Myles Garrett's agent. Maybe he signed him to a PR deal. I don't know. But for him to bring up Myles Garrett out of the blue, sight unseen, like, yeah, I know Amari Cooper wants some money, but let's give the money back to Myles Garrett. You know, he owner of the Cavs. He's good in the community. What does that got to do with Amari Cooper getting his bag? Are we trying to alienate the guy? Are we trying not to alienate the best receiver, the only guy that is put up yards for us, the only guy in the history of the Cleveland Browns that has been consecutively putting up 1,100 yards every single year with terrible quarterbacks like Jacoby Brissett, like rookies like DTR, like guys like Phillip Walker, PJ Walker? He putting up 1,100 with Flacco. He only played a handful of games with your boy Deshaun Watson. And he's consistently done that. So why would you then give that money to Myles Garrett for? Did Myles Garrett just knock on the Stefanski's door and say, I don't want some money? I'm trying to think. I had to go back and look on the internet. I was like, well, did Myles Garrett say that he wanted or what? We all know he's the best player. We all know when his contract up, he gonna get that bag. But one of the things that we can't do, this is my problem. I've always had a problem with this, man. See, fans, people much rather play GM than to actually get into the nitty-gritty of, like, no, we need Amari Cooper to make this offense run. You got Jerry Jeudy on the strength of you already had a bona fide number one receiver. Now you want to say, okay, well, if he want too much, we gonna go trade him and get somebody like Michael Thomas or Hunter Renfrow. That's disrespectful. Hunter Renfrow and Michael Thomas? Michael Thomas got more surgeries than me. Michael Thomas is somewhere bandaging his wounds as we speak. And Hunter Renfrow is a glorified slot receiver. He might want to go back. He might want to go back to a camp at Clemson. What are we talking about here? And the question is Amari Cooper at the top of the food chain? Yes and yes. Everybody wants to play GM. It's economics. We had Phil Yates on the other day. He's telling you that the Cleveland Browns are willing to pay money and as we restructure these deals like no other team is doing. But instead of accepting that and keeping all your people, listen, and keeping everybody intact to go and follow the objective of getting to a Super Bowl, we start deviating, thinking that we monopoly men, like we work at Saks Goldman, like we work at Chase. I mean, what are we doing? We do not work at a money market firm. Everybody want to be a money market guy. Well, it's too much compared to what? It's too much money. I don't think, bro, I consistently talk about it. What free agent or player under contract could the Cleveland Browns not sign because they were in cap purgatory? Give me one person that they couldn't, it was just off the table. You can't give me one. So why do I care about what Jimmy Haslam spends? Give him $60 million. Figure it out. I'm not no financial guru. Like everybody want to play GM. Like everybody, I'm gonna give him 2 years in this. He's overpaid. He's underpaid. He's medium paid. He's paid exactly the way. Listen, stop talking about pay and start talking about what's on that field. And what it means for Amari Cooper to be on that field is when that coverage is rolling, they going to Amari Cooper, which sets up an opportunity for backside and Jerry Jeudy and him getting the second corner and him getting free releases and him getting to work to be. Guess what? Elijah Moore now can move to the slot. We don't got to worry about him getting off press coverage and doing that because that's not his game. So when you say you don't need Amari Cooper is the key to the Browns passing attack. Period, point blank. If you don't have a number one receiver, you're done. I keep trying to tell people, and I think the Browns will get it done. The Browns will do their thing. They've shown that they have a track record of paying people. But this notion that we just, no, he's not next up. That's crazy. That's ludicrous, bro. Like that. What do you mean? Like you just arbitrarily, it sounds like you're going to arbitrarily pay Myles Garrett prior to him wanting that money just to say we're not going to give it to Amari Cooper? You know, the people that show up and do their job night and day, the two guys, Nick Chubb and Amari Cooper, I got a problem because I feel like people being hypocritical. Like Don't say that you love the fact that they hand the ball to the referee. You love the fact that they just come in, they play hurt. They good locker room guys. They don't bother nobody. They don't showboat. It's not a me type atmosphere. They're great teammates, good people. Y'all say all of that. That's cap. Because the first two people that y'all be trying to take money from is Nick Chubb and Amari Cooper. And the first thing you say is a business. Well, if it's a business, I don't want to hear y'all talking about all the other knuckleheads getting in trouble that want the ball every single play, that be on the field, off the field, locker room issues. Don't talk about them if it's just business. Because the first people y'all want to take money away from is the guys that actually produce and show up. And Amari Cooper is showed up and done what nobody else pretty much in the last 30 years has done for the Cleveland Browns. And that's put up numbers with mediocre offenses and run-first offenses with multiple quarterbacks. Pay the man his money, and I think the Cleveland Browns will do that. I'm just saying. Coming up next, while we on the money talk, we might as well get to somebody else's money too. Trevor Lawrence just became the highest paid quarterback and the highest paid player in the league. Is he worth it? He's not worth it. The thing is, it just comes down to economics. And I'll explain why. It's G. Bush right here on the Ultimate Browns. You know what we do over here at Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We got shows for everybody, everything, and every day of the week. Mondays, we got the Ultimate Guardians with Zach Miles and Adam the Bull, man. We definitely keep that lock. The first place Guardian, I think they 21-22 games over 500. They doing their thing. We also looking for a new coach right here with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Every single Tuesday, Mikey McNuggets and Jason Lloyd. Ultimate Cavs draft is coming up. We need a new head coach, trades, offseason, free agency. Keep it locked. That is your one-stop shop for everything Cavs. My brother, even though he was wrong on the whole Amari Cooper, cut him some slack. Still watch him. Every Thursday, Ultimate 216, Earl of Pearls, a mix between sports and culture. Make sure you check that out. And, of course, the big dog himself, top dog, you know what it is. You know what it is, the big homie himself, G/period, Mondays and Fridays on the Ultimate Browns. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get all of these updates when any one of us is going live. Welcome back to the Ultimate Browns. We out here cooking right now. We giving you that content. Minicamps is underway. We got to Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper holding out. We got to all those things. Make sure you go ahead and check those out. Clips will be up as following throughout the week. But the breaking news is Trevor Lawrence just got a massive extension and became the highest paid player in the NFL. And that seems kind of weird to say Trevor Lawrence is the highest paid player in the NFL. It is weird because he's not the best player in the NBA, or excuse me, NFL. He's not even the top, I would say, 10 quarterback. But this is just the way the economics of the things work. Let's take a look at my man Chris Broussard and Rob Parker and Chris Broussard, the odd couple. They broke this down, and they had a stat that just shows how the quarterback market really goes, and it has nothing to do with who's good and who's not.
Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback signs a 5-year, $275 million contract extension. $200 million guaranteed. The $55 million a year, Rob, ties him now with Joe Burrow of the Bengals for the top mark in money per year. What are your thoughts on this?
It's just the NFL, and this is we keep seeing it. It's just you have a quarterback, their turn comes up, and it's not based on stats or where you fit in the game. I mean, I think of it. What was the guaranteed money, Rob G? 200. And when Mahomes signed, his guarantee was 60. How? Like, none of this makes any sense to me, Chris. But this is the NFL. We talked about it before when Matthew Stafford was with the Lions. He was the highest paid player in the league. Hadn't even won a playoff game to that point. So none of this really, like, it's just if you have a quarterback, franchise quarterback,
but Miami hadn't done it with Tua.
Not yet. But
and remember the Ravens fought it off with Lamar and obviously ended up paying him.
So this stat is courtesy of the 33rd team, all right? Daniel Jones has paid an extra year, so his numbers are going to be higher in general. But across his first 48 starts, Trevor Lawrence, 12,204 total yards. Daniel Jones, 11,992. Yards per attempt, both of them, 6.7. Total touchdowns, Trevor Lawrence, 66, Daniel Jones, 64. Total turnovers, Trevor Lawrence, 55, Daniel Jones, 54. QB rating, Trevor Lawrence, 85.5, Daniel Jones, 85.4.
That's shocking.
I don't know why it's shocking. Shout out to Chris Broussard. Shout out to Rob Parker, the Odd Couple. And that clip was courtesy of them over there. Make sure you guys check out that podcast and subscribe on YouTube to their channel. Chris has been great to us over the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Been on multiple times on the radio show. So shout out to Chris, who is a Cleveland guy. Let's talk about this a little bit. Let's go and show you exactly what we mean right here. And this is going to add some further context to what we're talking about. This is the average per year earnings via Sport Track. As you can see, average per year earnings, Trevor Lawrence is at 55 million. He's number one. Joe Burrow's 2. They basically tied at 55 million right there, right? And Jared Goff, 53 million, comes in at 30. Just signed a new deal. Justin Herbert, 52 million. Lamar Jackson is at 52. Jalen Hurts at 51. Kyler Murray's at 46. Deshaun Watson is at 46. Kirk Cousins at 45. Patrick Mahomes has a deal. He's at 45, but guess what? He'll get another one if he wanted to today. He go in there and tell him, I want all my money today. He can get it. However, Patrick Mahomes is a little smart. He understands that it's going to take some money in order to sign the rest of his players to make his roster still up to snuff in terms of competing in his prime for championships. So he don't take the most he can get, right? He don't destroy the cap. So that's the only reason he's not doing that. But if you look up here and we talk about, the finances and how are they concerned, this is why I always got a problem when people want to talk about Deshaun Watson, how horrible of a deal it was, and it's the contract. But these guys don't understand, as we're going to point out here in a couple of seconds. It just boils down to economics. It's simple supply and demand. It's simple economics, guns and butter. That's what it is. That's what it's talking about, right? Let's talk about Trevor Lawrence's record. He's 20-30, 1-1 in the playoffs. And he's the highest paid player. Joe Burrow actually, is the second highest paid player, but he's only 7 games over 500. Jared Goff, no one looks at him as the best player in the league. He just happens to be the guy whose contract came up when it was time for him to get paid. Justin Herbert is a guy who's an up-and-coming guy, but look at his record, 30-32. He ain't even a 500 record. Lamar Jackson, they had to fight big, and he had to go tooth and nail just to be able to get that. If anybody deserves it, it would be Lamar Jackson. 58-19 with his record. Look at his QB rating, 98.0. I ain't got a problem with that. Jalen Hurts just got paid, 51. Kyler Murray really ain't done nothing. He's 28, 36-1. He's still getting paid more than Deshaun Watson, right? Kirk Cousins, right? He hasn't won a Super Bowl. He hasn't done anything in the playoffs. So my thing is this. When you look at this list, none of these guys are pretty much none of these guys have ever been the best quarterback in the league. They just haven't. And so where do we break this down at, G. Bush? Well, here's how we break this down. It boils down to, as Rob Parker talked about, who is next up in that deal, and you're going to get the highest paid contract in the league. And the way it works is this. Because quarterback is the most coveted position on the field, it's simple economics. Why are diamonds worth a lot? Why is gold worth a lot? Because there's only a finite amount of it on this planet, on this rock. And so when the price of diamonds is way up here, you say, why is it? Because it's rare. Quarterbacks are rare. A quarterback that can throw for 4,000 yards, a quarterback that can get you to the playoffs is rare. So if you're a quarterback and you put up big numbers in your contract year, it don't even matter if that's the best year of your life. You're going to be the highest paid quarterback because no one's going to let you hit the open market and have to start all the way over again, not knowing if they can ever get another quarterback in the draft. And by the way, there is no free agent market for top flight quarterbacks. There just isn't, because no one lets top flight quarterbacks go. By the way, everybody gets confused about the guaranteed money. Once again, if you are able to get your team to the playoffs, or you are just a player that people think can get you there, or you could put up 4,000 plus yards, the opportunity cost outside of who you are is so low that they're going to retain you anyway. So no quarterback that is good to excellent to spectacular is never going to get cut. So theoretically, every contract as a quarterback is guaranteed. All of it. All of it. They're going to get that bag. That's what it is. So when you talk about, whether guys are worth it or if they're top 10 or not, it don't matter. Now we see, we continue to talk about this. The Deshaun Watson contract, day by day, week by week, looks a little better. I mean, I haven't seen Kyler Murray move no earth. I haven't seen him move the land, sea, and earth. He ain't done nothing. And he came off an injury. Trevor Lawrence has done nothing, right? But I don't gripe about it. I just understand what the economics of the position in the NFL is. You can find a receiver, right? You can find other positions. Quarterbacks don't grow on trees. So therefore, it's just simple supply and demand. And so nobody who has drafted a guy, invested that type of capital, and understands that you may not be able to find another guy to replace him, nobody's not going to retain those guys' services. So Trevor Lawrence, is he the best QB in the league? No, he's somewhere in the middle. But it doesn't matter. The reason he's the highest paid quarterback is because it was just that way. It just happens to fall on the opposite time frame when, guess what? It came up, his contract was up, and guess what? The next quarterback up is going to get that bag. It is what it is. So when you hear people consistently bag on the Deshaun Watson stuff or talk about quarterbacks or talk about people ain't worth it, just tell them it's simple economics. It's not that difficult. It's not that hard. But, people fall into the thing where they just, that's the only angle they got. It's the only angle they look at. It's the price of doing business. So if you don't got a quarterback or you miss on the first round quarterback, a la the Jets, a la the Cleveland Browns, the Jets missed twice. That just goes to show you how thirsty these teams is for quarterbacks. So you're going to have guys playing a lot of money, and you're going to have a lot of guys out here demanding a lot of money. And that's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. Like Tupac said, you never know where G. Bush is at. He's going to be on radio, television, internet. You don't know. But you look back there, I keep my clippers on me. And if you need that haircut or the lineup, always understand, I'm always one clipper, one scissors, and one lineup away. Have a great weekend, and go Browns.